glass of water, please?
Hey Jared, money's kind of tight this week, so stop spending so much, okay?
What's going on, bro? Oh yeah, not much, man. Just working. What are you doing? Yeah, man, I can't play golf today. Yeah, we had a budget meeting last night and just don't have a lot of money right now towards the end of the month, so can't play, man. No, can't. No, alright, I'll meet you there in 20 minutes. Alright, bye. Get me some Oreos. Oh yeah, go get me some Oreos. Some Oreos. What? Jessica, told you not to cheap out on the Oreos.
Jared, what's his Amazon purchase for $12? $50 at Men's Warehouse? What is this?
So I'm working on the budget and just wondering why you took out $20 cash yesterday.
All right, what's for dinner tonight? Another meatless meal. Yippee.
Budget meeting time.
Budget meeting time. Right. See. Yeah, it looks good. Good job.
Jared. I get really nervous when you're in there. Wasn't that funny? Wasn't those clips funny?
That wasn't true. That's not how it really is.
Okay, hi everyone. So I was tagged in a video a long time ago, but I'm a horrible procrastinator. I was tagged by Wendy Valencia. I think there's lots of other YouTubers that have done this same tag, so all the videos I can find, I will link them below, and if I didn't link yours, you could just tell me and I'll put it below. So we are talking today about our debt-free struggles. Now, you probably know that we've been debt-free for 2 years now, but we're going to be talking about one certain topic today that we really struggled with while we were on our debt-free journey, and it's something that we still struggle with every single day. Right, Jared? This is Jared, if y'all didn't know, because you never see him anymore. The one thing that we struggle with, as you saw from the beginning clips, is that we are so completely opposite in lots of ways, but especially when it comes to money.
We've just kind of started looking at a lot of things about why we are so different and how I know it's hard to work together whenever you're going through your debt-free journey and what you're trying to do. And now that we're debt-free, we're on the back end of things and trying to basically keep our savings in order and continue paying off our house and doing other things to continue in the baby steps. But we've been struggling with that because of our differences in the way that we spend our money. We both view money differently, but we have the same end goal. We have the same vision of where we want our money to be, but our way of spending it and doing things with it are a little different because we are categorized as free spirits and a nerd. We want to talk about some of those struggles.
So if you're not familiar with Dave Ramsey, when you first start following him, you really learn about what type of person you are. He labels it as free spirits and nerds, or spenders and savers. So we have a little visual here to show you.
Nice professional visual for you here. So this is me, JD.
He's totally 100% free spirit.
Other opposite side of Jessica,
And
which is JJ.
I am almost a complete nerd. I like to spend sometimes, but not much.
Yeah, that's our visual for you right there.
So as you can see, we clash a lot when it comes to money. Yeah. Now, I do know some people that they start out wanting to do the Dave Ramsey plan, and sometimes one spouse is on board and the other isn't, and I feel really bad for you guys because I can't imagine how hard that would be. In our case, like he said, we both were on board and have the same goal in mind.
You have to start somewhere, you know. There's always going to be a difference, always going to be a difference. And this is kind of what we want to share with you guys to let you know that, hey, even when you get through, you know, the debt-free, and it wasn't easy. I mean, we have a lot of differences that we had to work through, but it's made us stronger.
Yeah, we just want to give some specific examples of how we struggle every day to get along.
Yeah, the struggle is, you know, everybody's going to have their struggles regardless. And those that aren't on the same page with the money, you got to start somewhere. And it starts with the budget. You have to write down, and there's going to be fights, there's going to be money that comes up where you're going to be arguing about. And we want to tell you guys that it's part of it. You know, we're all normal. So we got some things we want to share. With me being a free spirit, it's really hard for me not to spend money. I love spending money. I love doing things, I love going out, and I don't really sometimes care about if I don't have it or not. I'll be honest. I just, you know.
I think part of it is I do the budget, so I see it every single day, whereas we only meet like twice a month, and he only sees it but sometimes I think, sometimes you'll see it and I'll tell you, don't spend any money, and you don't really listen to me.
Yeah. And that's just, that's where my undiscipline comes in.
I think it's just hard.
It is.
Because
It
it's
is
such
really
a
hard.
material
Especially on the holidays.
world.
I mean, I get like this around the holidays where I want to spend money and buy things, and things come up where I'm like, oh, I need that. And, I've gone years without having it, and it's just we live in a world of upgrades where you want new things and better things.
I don't want to make Jared sound bad in this video because I just want to make sure we point out that there's pros and cons to both being a spender and a saver.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about during our debt-free journey, what was really hard for me in the beginning. I feel like if we would have both been savers or more like me, we could have gotten out of debt a lot faster. But what was hardest for me was allowing him to have such a big personal spending budget. I remember starting out with like $200, and for his personal, he could spend on whatever he wanted, and he would go over every single month, and we ended up fighting. And then finally I just had to force myself to raise his personal budget to even more than that. So I finally caved in, and sometimes he still goes over, but I know that's a lot of money, so I refuse to bump it up even more.
And she shouldn't, because it is.
And it's really hard when we're surrounded by so many friends and family that don't do what we do, and they're constantly like, they can't believe he only gets that much to spend on himself. And people are just always wanting us to do stuff, or you got an expensive hobby.
Yeah, but here's the thing here's what about being a free spirit and a nerd, where you have to have this, here's why we're good together. And even though we have our differences, we are compatible. We are the yin and the yang, right? There's things where she keeps me in order and helps me see bigger picture things, and helps me with my money. Because honestly, if I didn't have her, I was a credit card swiper. I was the, I don't care if I don't have the money, I'll go out and buy it. And if I didn't have her in my life, I would probably, it wouldn't be a pretty picture. But because of her, we've worked together to be debt free, pay off our debt, $77,000, and get on to where we're at. And I never thought we'd be able to do that now, but
and that's
I am able to also allow her to hopefully enjoy spending money a little bit more, and just being a little bit more of a free spirit, and helping me be a little bit more of a nerd, if that makes sense. Which you've got to kind of find this middle ground. As you can see, we want to be about right here on our fancy chart. And do that.
But it's kind of hard for me to be able to spend more if we don't have the money for it.
Yeah, so then that brings us to my next point, how we are so different about how we have the same vision and goals on where we want to be with our money, retirement, what we want to do with our kids, how we want to, but the steps to get there, she's more about let's save it, let's cut back on our spending habits, let's change our lifestyle. I'm more like, no, let's work harder, let's make more money, let's increase our lifestyle, let's yes, so I'm always thinking I want to work harder to make more money, so that we don't have to adjust our lifestyle, we can increase our lifestyle.
Yeah, but that's not as easy as just stop spending money.
I know, it's hard, I know, and I'm learning that because we just now, on our first year where she's quit her job, and it took about $50,000 out of our income, and we are spending more money this year than we've made. Yeah, it's just because our lifestyle was the
basically
same.
in debt to ourselves, and so it's been really, really stressful for me.
Yeah.
And there's been lots of fights lately, but it's just something that we have to be aware of, that we're opposite, and that we always have to be working on figuring it out together.
The core on it is the behavior. It's the behavior and the lifestyle, because if you cannot change that behavior and that lifestyle, you're always going to want to stay constantly doing the same things, spending the same amount of money. If the income is not the same, then you're going to either go into debt to yourself or to somebody else. But luckily, we were able to have a savings in place to have a cushion in that, because if not, it would have been a lot more stressful. We wouldn't be doing this video, I'll tell you that right now, if we wouldn't have the baby step in order. So
okay, so
yeah.
For those of you who also have a husband or a wife who's constantly blowing their budget and is a spender, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about how we deal with that. Sometimes, like when he's overspending and I'm frustrated, I try to just have fun with it and tell him, like, hey, if next month if you blow your budget, we're gonna do like a whole week worth of meatless meals. I don't think it's gotten to that point because I'm not really that mean, but I still like throw it in his face the whole month. I'm like, you're gonna eat no meat for a week. And so that's one way we just kind of have fun with it, and I think it does help him a little bit more
Yeah, it
to stay
doesn't
on
work.
track.
Yeah, I mean, it's the behavior thing. It's the constant reminder, you know. You got to be able to remind yourself and fight the urges just as much as they come up. You know?
I've also had to learn how to approach him not in an angry or an accusing way when it comes time to do the budget, because there has been times where we go into a budget meeting and I'm just really frustrated and mad and start saying mean things to him, and then he gets really defensive and mad, and that totally ruins our budget meeting, ruins the mood, ruins the night. And so I have to just learn how to use the right words and tell him like that it really makes me feel disrespected, that I put so much work into the budget, and when he just ruins it.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
understands when I say that.
Because I know I got to respect the budget. Yeah, as a free spirit, you have to respect the budget because she is the one that works hard on it. I trust her, and I trust her because I think you like it, and I think you're good at it, right? That's why you do it. But I need to be more involved with it so that I have more emotions and I have more to probably control my behaviors better if I was more involved with it. And I'm not to say I'm not involved with it. I know where my money's going just as much. I sit down and look at it. But she looks at it more than I do. She studies it more and
I
looks
think-
at it more.
I mean, I feel like we should probably have more budget meetings,
Yeah, just because it needs to be more ingrained in me because I see the stress in her because she's looking at the numbers every day and we're not making as much as we were last year and we have not changed our lifestyle, our behaviors. We're spending just as much, maybe a little less, but we're not catching up with ourselves. But
And I gotta point out that sometimes you do good. Like today, we went and we got a sandwich, and he actually didn't get a chip or drinks. He only got a sandwich, which he hardly ever does.
it's the little thing, you know.
What did you do? Oh, the other day he didn't eat lunch till like 3 o'clock because he knew he shouldn't stop and get food. So he came home and ate eggs and bacon, and I was really surprised that he didn't get lunch. I want to point out one more thing bad about you. I feel like we would have gotten out of debt faster. I wanted to do things like cut the cable when we were trying to get out of debt, but he never would. So that was a struggle. But he is the better one when it comes to calling around. He's always, like once a year, he calls like our insurances and our utility places or whatever, AT&T, and he always gets our bills lowered. So good job, Jared. Because I wouldn't do that because I don't like talking to people. So I would never do that.
Yeah.
What?
One thing about the nerd is that I've noticed about you is that you have a tough time enjoying spending money. As a nerd, you have to enjoy spending your money because you work so daggum hard for it. And
But it's like when I see in the budget that we can't be doing that,
you
I
study
can't
it so
enjoy it.
much. Yeah, I know, and you're out calculating every little dollar. Oh, that piece of cheesecake, $7.50.
Like
Oh
we
my
can't even go on a
gosh.
date night without me worrying about money, and Jared's like, can you just not talk about money tonight?
Yeah, let's just order whatever we want. I mean, we got over 10 grand in the bank. You know, we've got money to
See,
see.
that's how
And
you
I
see
know. I
things.
see things differently, right? Like I'm more comfortable with it because I know that I don't know how to say it, but I feel like I know that. So yeah, that's not a way to think about it because that's emergency savings that we shouldn't touch. And that's the way we think differently. A nerd and a free spirit. And if she wasn't here to keep me in check, I would think, oh my gosh, I got over 10 grand in the bank. We're
Like
going
you-
to Vegas, baby.
Well, like you see that number that's in the bank, our whole bank account, which we should probably move that to where you can't see it. But I see the number at the end of the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I know. I see. I know what you mean.
That's the problem with being such a nerd, is I'm just like constantly stressed about money and I just can't enjoy spending it. I'm not gonna go into detail, but just a few days ago, like I had a really bad breakdown, not just because of money, but that was a big part of it. I told Jared like I didn't want to do the budget anymore and I wanted him to do it and all this stuff. I didn't get in a fight. I just told him like I was tired of being stressed
She was
out
done.
and I was done with it. And I really believed this time that I was gonna make him do the budget for December, but then a few days went by and I like couldn't resist. I had to go back and update our budget. But during those few days, he was like, and I just went out and I spent a little money and I just kept saying, I don't care about the money. I went out and I enjoyed it a little bit. and it did feel good. So it was good to get that out. So I think that maybe I should do that more often.
I do agree. You have not, even when we have the money set aside to spend, you have a tough time enjoying it. Because you get so wrapped up in money. Money is so stressful. I mean, it is. It's a hard thing to deal with, especially with two people that have on opposite ends of the world. I mean, it showed you our professional diagram. I mean, come on, that's something. It's hard to deal with. So you have to have these meetings. You have to have these talks. It's helping me because I know I said because I know that I need to do better.
Okay, and I want to point out, I don't want this to scare anybody from ever starting the Dave Ramsey plan or getting a control of your money, because it may sound scary going through this, but it's just part of life, and it's a lot better than still being in debt and like worrying about how you're going to feed your kids or pay your bills or something like that. Okay, I just want to point that out real quick. Don't want to scare anybody away. Okay, another positive thing about Jared being such a spender is he's a lot more of a giver than me. Now, we give our 10% to our church, our tithe, and that's not a problem for me at all. I have no problem doing that. But doing any kind of giving beyond that, I'm really a huge tightwad, and it's really hard for me. Even little things like when we go out to dinner with our parents, like they buy our dinners all the time, and then I feel bad that we don't do that for them more, but I just feel like, you know, we have a certain budget for eating out, and we can't even stick to that, or just for the two of us or for the four of us. So it's like, how can we pay for our family also to go out to eat, or friends, or just randomly buy someone's dinner when we can't even stick to our own budget? So that's one thing that bothers me, is that I'm not more of a giver like Jared is in that way. He's really good about just randomly buying someone dinner, a random person out at a restaurant, or just giving someone in need. He's good about giving them money, which I'm not. I'm very selfish in that way.
Well, as a free spirit for a helping nerd, I think that I've helped you come out of your shell as far as being more outspoken. You're not afraid to approach people now. She used to be really, really, I don't even know how you got with me, really, because you were so shy, but...
This isn't money related, but just things like talking to the person who's checking you out at the grocery store, like, because of him, I'm more talkative to people like that,
Tell them,
more nice, ask him how their day's going. But back to money, like I said, he is a much better giver. And then it's like when he comes home, or when I look in the bank account and I find out about that, and it's like, you know, how am I supposed to get mad about that? Even though I know that we really couldn't, that wasn't in the budget, so it bothers me, but it's like I can't really get mad about something like that. Like one day we had a budget meeting, or I told him stop spending so much money, and the next day he went out to lunch at Denny's because he had a free coupon.
Oh, yeah.
He had a free coupon for a free lunch, so he went and ate Denny's by himself
That was a God thing.
to get a free lunch. And then he ended up paying for a family of 4 for their lunch, which was like $30-something.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
That
that's
was
very
cool.
good of him, but
No, yeah,
it's just something I struggle with, just having to like not freak out about it.
Yeah, I don't know how to. It's just hard. It's hard. It's a tough deal. We've had some struggles the past couple of. This year's been stuff. As weird as this has to say, to be in baby step 3. What am I? Yeah, still in 3. But you know, you have. It's a constant. You have to keep doing the same thing. You know, you can't. Even though you're in different baby step, you have to continually, consistently do the budget meetings. And I feel like I have let off that. I have. When we were in debt, I was more involved. I was studying the numbers more, and I was calculating my spending more. Now, I feel like I'm rich, and I feel like I've got money in the bank, and, it's a different mindset.
He looks at our retirement a lot, and he sees that number go
Yeah.
up, so that's probably why you
So
think
I
we're
need to
rich.
change my mindset on some things. I need to be thinking more like the nerd, and she needs to be thinking a little bit more like me to ease up a little bit, because she's been a little stressed out too much to be in the situation that we're in, to be stressed like you are.
I just
but
don't
I
know
feel
where
it.
we can loosen up to where I cannot stress.
I know. So then I need to put myself in the driver's seat for you, and I do need to take over the budget. So there's just struggles with everything, but the way we're going to work it out is these conversations. You guys holding us accountable. This right here holds us accountable, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to point out that as such a tightwad nerd, I feel like a nag a lot, and I just get tired of constantly being a nag, and at least I'm aware that I am. So believe it or not, I do hold back a lot.
And that's my fault. I mean,
So I don't like being that way, and it's just something I struggle with every day, just trying to loosen up. But that's just my personality, and we just have to try to help each other change.
So here's what our
for the
preacher
better.
here's what our preacher says to us. In life and with sin, with everything you do in life, you always want to go back to your default nature, which is to do basically to take the easy road out. But nothing that is worth doing is easy. So, you know, my default nature is to go back to my free spirit, my credit card days, my spending it whenever I want it. I'm going to buy it no matter, regardless if I don't have a job or not. And I have to fight those urges every day, and she helps me battle that.
I think
And-
my default nature is I'm kind of a negative person. And you have to help me be more positive.
And I think you have. You definitely have. I mean, because a nerd, you're contained, you're content, you don't like confrontations, you'd rather not speak to somebody, but you really have to live your life to be able to interact with people and communicate and go outside your shell and get out your comfort zone to be able to find out who you are. But for us, we help each other. We pull each other up. As a nerd and a free spirit, if you're out there and you battle with one another and you each have your differences, I hope this kind of helps you see that everybody does it. We're just we're different, I think.
We're different.
But
I watch a lot of YouTubers, or I used to, and it always seemed like they didn't have these problems. It seemed like both spouses always stuck to their budget, and so that's really always bothered me and annoyed me. So hopefully there's someone out there watching this who's like us and has these problems, and this is helpful to you. We're not completely opposite. I wanted to end on a good note and say
Yeah.
what are some things that we have in common.
let's see. We could be here a while. No.
We both love Vegas and gambling.
yeah.
We both love Bloody Marys.
We love our kids, and that's
Yeah,
why
we
we're
like
doing
our
this.
kids.
We love our kids. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this budget thing, really. It's not for us. We have the same thing in common.
We like our kids.
We love our kids. I mean,
We like the same kind of movies. And we like Christmas Vacation.
yeah, I love Christmas vacation.
We like beef jerky.
As you can see, it's Christmas time in the city. I can end on a note with me singing, ring-a-ling. Oh, Christmas tree. Okay.
We love coffee.
We love coffee. I love the way my hand soap smells in my kitchen.
This is not about you, it's about us.
Oh.
We love blue.
Okay, here it is right here. Here's what it is.
He likes talking.
I love talking, but here's one thing also. One thing we have in common is we know where we want to be in 20, 30 years. We know where this is all going to end up, where this discussion's going, where these budget meetings are going to take us. I think we have that same goal in common, and although we might always not seem the same and have the same views on things, we're going to make it together. We're going to make it to our destination. But it's going to be hard. We just got to keep working at it.
Okay, so there's our debt-free journey struggle, our biggest struggle. There's lots of struggles, but that's the biggest one.
Yeah, that was 3 pages, and we just scratched the surface.
Getting out of debt is it's a really simple thing. Basically, you just stop spending money, but it's hard to actually do and put into action.
Yeah, if we lived in like, middle of Africa or something, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but we live in America where it's just crazy with stuff. We have so much stuff that we don't even need, and we're so blessed, and that's the hard part.
Being content. You gotta learn to be
To
content.
be content and be blessed with your small, little things in life, and what we think is little or big things to a lot of people, and we need to remember that.
Okay, so there's our struggle. So let me know down below what are some of your struggles that you deal with while getting out of debt, or were your struggles, or if you can relate to us, please let us know. So that is it, and thank y'all for watching. Sorry so long, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye!